back, homie. The truth. What up, Silk? I see you, homie. Cut it. What they want. I'm the truth with this pit and it's loose leaf. Now they starting to believe and they won't kick it like Bruce Lee. Got a house to maintain and mouths to feed. Shoot these rappers and spit them out like sunflower seeds. Bow down to your knees. Bow down to me. Bow down to
Hello everybody, my name is Bezaleel, and you have just joined me for another edition of Building Encouragement. This week I want to talk about one little issue real fast. I'm not going to take up too much of your time because I do want to show you more of what I always like to show folks, the things I like to do, things I like to enjoy, and talk about basic little points here and there. But one thing I do want to discuss right now is being a family. It's called, I have just found out was this. I just found out that even though when you do good things to certain individuals, or when you do good things for certain individuals, you would think that that same good would come back to you. But in some cases, you won't take the good of what's given to them and really take it for a better cause than to just wipe it in somebody's face. All because they've done something good. Now, you've heard the term, you never bite the hand that feeds you. I mean, it's an old cliche. I mean, I've heard it. I'm quite sure some of y'all have heard it. Things that we as people need to do to make sure that we can continue living here and to survive here. Because, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I have children, and one day the youngsters that are here right now, they're gonna have children. So somebody's got to be able to feed these individuals and let them know what's the right path on what to do in life. Well, one thing that's missing that I see in a lot of these kids today is they have lost respect for their elders. That's not right. That is not right. That has to be implemented to all these youngsters out here who claim don't nobody love them, don't nobody care about them. Let me tell you something. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. I lived through a type of life that I would dare want my enemy to go through. And I, sure don't want to see the next child go through it, but I've been through it. I was in foster care. I was a part of the system. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was a part of all of that, But I gotta ask myself, what brought me to be the man that I am today? Despite all I've seen, despite all I've heard, despite what I didn't have, because I didn't have a solid family foundation like some of these individuals have. At least they had their mama to raise them, or something like that. I can't recall that I've had much of that. You know what I'm saying? And as much as I love my mother, I never really had her with me a lot, So, the people that that do good for you, that have brought positive in your life, them the ones that you would want to consider your family. Because obviously, them the ones that really care about you. They care about you enough to tell you what's right. You got some people that are out here that ain't gonna tell you nothing. They won't tell you nothing, even though they know it's the right thing to do. Or they may have the right thing to say, but guess what? They're not gonna tell it to you. Why? That's a question we all need to try to find an answer to, but it's like that. And that's how the world is today. That's why a lot of these kids is up here growing up disrespectful. I mean, it's too many times, too many occasions where I see that these kids got people that really love them, that really care about them, that really do a whole lot for them. But yet, when you come around and you want to ask for something in return from an individual, I don't care if it's to take the garbage out, or to come help pull the grass, or just to come help pull the groceries in the house. You should be able to get that same respect. It works both ways. It's a two-way street. Communication is the key. It's the key to everything. If you don't have communication, your whole foundation, your whole structure is pretty much shot. Because if you can't communicate, there's no way you can work together. There's no way you can work together. There's no way possible, So, family has got to be implemented. Somebody has got to be able to gel with these individuals who didn't have much family with them, but they choose to want to be they choose to want the streets to be their family. But what I don't understand is this. The streets, let me tell you something about the streets. One thing about the streets is this. If the streets know that an individual is good at something, he's good at, let's say, sports, he's good at basketball, he's good at football, he's been having his name in the newspaper every week, okay? Now, this same individual, by him having the accolades as he has in sports, there's no way he should be caught up in the street life. That should not be his focus. His main focus was to continue his collegiate career and still be on the straight and narrow without going against the grain. Well, this is what the streets will do. The streets will look at you. Now, some of them will do this. Now, I'm going to give credit to those who do. Because they got some guys out here who are in the streets. And they got some guys out here who's pulling these guys' coats and telling them the right things. I see it all the time. And I commend those dudes. I praise them good because they're doing the right thing. You got some people that are high and mighty that's not doing what they have just done. I see it all the time. I see it all the time. But they got some people in the streets that see an individual knowing that they have great accolades aside from what they're doing now. Them are some of the same ones that's not going to tell this individual, look man, you need to get out of here. This life ain't for you, bro. Don't be caught up in it like me, man. I'm kind of stuck right now, but I wish I had everything that you had. Maybe I would have done a lot better. Maybe I would have went to college. Maybe I would have stayed in school, and I probably would have been a pro sports player. You know what I'm saying? I probably would be in your shoes, but man, don't throw your life away. Don't throw your life away. Do something better other than what I'm doing right now. That's what the streets should be telling folks. If they really love you, that's what the streets should be telling folks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm gonna just keep it real. I mean, it's just too much disrespect. And I feel like, well, if immediate parents can be the ones to talk to these kids, to let them know which way is the straight and narrow and how to respect their family, then it should take other individuals who they look up to tell them the right things to do. You need to respect your parents, despite all that you've been through. Because ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody life is perfect. Everybody got wrongs, everybody got downfalls, everybody got their ups and their downs. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all in the matter of knowing how to deal with it all and be able to deal with it without being irrational. That's a hard thing to do. That's a very hard thing to do. And to forgive somebody, that's like one of the hardest things to do in the world. I mean, don't nobody want to do that nowadays because they feel it's just the hardest thing to do. You know, somebody do you wrong. The first thing you want to do is you want to try to do them harm back. You know what I'm saying? As far as I see it, I mean, if there's a time for it, then there's a time for it. But there are also situations where you can outthink an individual and rise above it and be able to take that same negative energy and redirect it for something positive instead of trying to do harm that'll bring more harm that's not going to solve it. All it's going to do is be an ongoing conflict that's not going to have no resolve to it. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when is somebody's really going to understand that it takes family to understand how things are supposed to go? Family are supposed to be the ones to pull family members' coats and be able to tell them things they need to hear. Tell them things that's good of what they need to hear. How to live. How to become that beautiful, fine young woman. How to become that handsome young man. You know what I'm saying? It takes family to do that. It takes family. It don't take an individual who always want to down somebody or who always got something bad to say to somebody, you know, without giving nobody praises for things they've done good. Cause you're not going to get that from most folks. Most people is not going to tell you, well, you know what, I'm proud of you for that. Man, you've done so good, man. I am real proud of you for that. Put a smile on somebody's face for once. Tell them that you're proud of them. Tell them that. Sometimes a person might need to hear that. In order for them to make it better for them, sometimes they gotta hear that. You know? So I mean, you know, sometimes it's